And you are here with Senor DeVries and Inside Out and Back Again. Amethyst ring. Mother wants to sell the amethyst ring father brought back from America, where he trained in the Navy before I was born. She wants to buy needles and thread, fabric and sandals from the camp's black market. I have never seen her without this purple rock, and I can't fall asleep unless I twist the ring and count circles. Brother Quang says no. What's the point of new shirts and sandals if you lose the last tangible remnant of love? I don't understand what he said, but I agree. July 2nd. Choose. Some choose to go to France because many Vietnamese moved there when North and South divided years ago. Uncle Son says come with this family to Canada, where his sister lives and can help watch over us until father returns. Mother knows his wife would mind. She tells him Canada is too cold. We stand in line to fill out papers. Every family must decide by tonight when the fireworks will explode in honor of America's birth. Mother wants to write Paris, home of a cousin she has never met. The man behind us whispers, choose America. More opportunities there, especially for a family with boys ready to work. Mother whispers back, my sons must first go to college. If they're smart, America will give them scholarships. Mother chooses. July 4th. Another tent city. We are flown to another tent city in humid, hot Florida where alligators are shown as entertainment. The people in charge bring in Saigon famous singers to raise refugee spirits. But faces keep twisting with worries. For a family to leave, an American must come to camp and sponsor a family. We wait and wait, but Mother says a possible widow, 3 boys, and a pouty girl make too huge a family by American standards. A family of 3 in the tent to our left gets sponsored to Georgia. The couple to our right goes to South Carolina. Newcomers leave before us. Mother can barely eat, while Brother Quang picks the skin at his elbows. I don't mind being here. My hair is growing, as I've become dark and strong from running and swimming. Then, by chance, Mother learns sponsors prefer those whose applications say Christians. And just like that, Mother amends our faith, saying all beliefs are pretty much the same. July to early August. Alabama. A man comes who owns a store that sells cars and wants to train one young man to be a mechanic. He keeps holding up one finger before picking Brother Quang, whose studies in engineering impress him. Mother doesn't care what the man came looking for. By the time she is done staring, blinking, wiping away tears, all without speaking English, our entire family has a sponsor to Alabama. August 7th. Our cowboy. Our sponsor looks just like an American should. Tall and pig-bellied, black cowboy hat, tall cowboy boots, cigar smoking, teeth shining, red in face, golden in hair. I love him immediately and imagine to be a good-hearted and loud and the owner of a horse. August 8th. Part 3, Alabama. Unpack and repack. We're giddy when we get off the airplane. Our cowboy, who never takes off his tall hat, delivers us to his huge house where grass spreads out so green it looks painted. Stay until you feel ready. We smile and unpack the 2 outfits we each own. One look at our cowboy's wife, arms, lips, eyes contorted into knots, and we repack. August 15th. English above all. We sit and sleep in the lowest level of our cowboy's house, where we never see the wife. I must stand on a chair that stands on a tea table to see the sun and the moon out a too high window. The wife insists we keep out of her neighbor's eyes. Mother shrugs. More room here than 2 mats on a ship. I wish she wouldn't try to make something bad better. She calls a family meeting. Until you children master English, you must think, do, wish for nothing else. Not your father, not our old home, not your old friends, not our future. She tries to mean it about father, but I know at times words are just words. August 16th. First rule. Brother Quang says add an S to nouns to mean more than one, even if there's already an S sitting there. Glass, glasses. All day I practice squeezing hisses through my teeth. Whoever invented English must have loved snakes. August 17th. American chicken. Most food our cowboy brings is wrapped in plastic or pushed into cans, while chicken and beef are chopped and frozen. We live on rice, soy sauce, canned corn. Today our cowboy brings a paper bucket of chicken, skin crispy and golden, smelling of perfection. Brother Coy recoils, vowing to never eat anything with wings. Our cowboy bites on a leg, grins to show teeth and gums. I wonder if he's so friendly because his wife is so mean. We bite. The skin tastes as promised, crunchy and salty, hot and spicy. But Mother wipes the corners of her mouth before passing her piece into her napkin. Brother Vu gags. Our brother scrunches his brow, surely thinking, why are his refugees so picky? Brother Quang forces a swallow before explaining we are used to fresh killed chicken that roamed the yard snacking on grains and worms. Such meat grows tight in texture, smelling of meadows and tasting sweet. I bite down on a thigh, might as well bite down on bread soaked in water. Still, I force yum-yum sounds. I hope to ride the horse our cowboy surely has. August 20th. Out the too-high window. Green mats of grass in front of every house. Vast windows in front of sealed curtains. Cement lanes where no one walks. Big cars pass not often. Not a noise. Clean, quiet, loneliness. Second rule. Add an S to verbs acted by one person in the present tense even if there's already an S sound nearby. She chooses. He refuses. I'm getting better at hissing, no longer spitting on my forearms. August 22nd. American address. Our cowboy in an even taller hat finds us a house on Princess Anne Road. Pays rent ahead 3 months. Mother could not believe his generosity until Brother Quang says, the American government gives sponsors money. Mother is even more amazed by the generosity of the American government. Until Brother Quang says, it's to ease the guilt of losing the war. Mother's face crinkles like paper on fire. She tells Brother Quang to clamp his mouth shut. People living on others' goodwill cannot afford political opinions. I inspect our house. 2 bedrooms, one for my brother, one for Mother and me. A washing machine, because no one here will scrub laundry in exchange for a bowl of rice. The stove spews out clean blue flames unlike the ashy coals back home. What I love best, the lotus pod shower where heavy drops will massage my scalp as if I were standing in a monsoon. What I don't love, pink sofas, green chairs, plastic cover on a table, stained mattresses, old clothes, unmatched dishes, all from friends of our cowboy. Even at our poorest, we always had beautiful furniture and matching dishes. Mother says be grateful. I'm trying. August 24th. Letter home. As soon as we have an address, Mother writes all the way to the north where Father's brother anchors down the family line in their ancestral home. It's the first time Mother has been allowed to contact anyone in the north since the country divided. It'll be the first time Father's brother learns of his disappearance. Unless Father has sent word that he's safe after all. I shiver with hope. August 25th. Third rule. Always an exception. Do not add an S to certain nouns. 1 deer, 2 deer. Why no S for 2 deer, but an S for 2 monkeys? Brother Quang says, no one knows. So much for rules. Whoever invented English should be bitten by a snake. August 26th. Passing time. I study the dictionary because grass and trees do not grow faster just because. I stare. I look up. Jane, not listed. Seize, to eyeball something. Spot, a stain. Run, to move really fast. Meaning, blank. Eyeballs, stain, move. I throw the dictionary down and ask Brother Quang. Jane is a name, not in the dictionary. Spot is a common name for a dog. Girl named Jane sees dog named Spot run. I can't read a baby book. Who will believe I was reading lots of books at home? But then who here knows those books? August 27th. Nay, not he. Brother Quang is tired of translating. Our sponsor takes me to register for school alone. As my personal cowboy for the day, he will surely let me ride his horse. I start to climb into his too tall trunk, but his two fingers walk in the air. This means I walk to school. Turn right where flowers big as dinner plates grow strangely blue. Turn left where purple fluffy wands arch on tall bushes inviting butterflies. Sweat beads plump up on my cowboy's upper lip. My armpits embarrass me. I must remember not to raise the reins high. We walk and walk on a road where the horizon keeps extending. Finally, we stop at a fat red brick building. Paperwork with a woman who pats my head while shaking her own. I step back, hating pity, having learned from Mother that the pity giver feels better, never the pity receiver. On the walk home, I take a deep breath, forcing myself to say, "You, horse, he, I go. My personal cowboy shakes his head. I repeat myself and gallop. He scrunches his face. I say, horse, and he, until my throat hurts. We get home. Brother Quang has to translate after all. No, Mr. Johnson doesn't have a horse, nor has he ever ridden one. What kind of cowboy is he, I think? To make it worse, the cowboy explains horses here go, nay, not he. No, they don't. Where am I? August 29th. Fourth rule. Some verbs switch all over just because. I am, she is, they are, he was, they were. Would be simpler if English and life were logical. August 30th. The outside. Starting tomorrow, everyone must leave the house. Mother starts sewing at a factory. Brother Quang begins repairing cars. The rest of us must go to school, repeating the last grade left unfinished. Brother Vu wants to be a cook or teach martial arts. Not waste a year as the oldest senior. Mother says one word, college. Brother Coy gets an old bicycle to ride, but Mother says I'm too young for one, even though I'm a 10-year-old girl in the 4th grade when everyone else is 9. Mother says worry instead about getting sleep because from now on no more naps. You will eat lunch at school with friends. What friends? You'll make some. What if I can't? You will. What will I eat? What will your friends eat? But what will I eat? Be surprised. I hate surprises. Be agreeable. Not without knowing what I'm agreeing to. Mother sighs, walking away. September 1st. Sadder laugh. School. I wake up with dragonflies zipping through my gut. I eat nothing. I take each step toward school evenly, trying to hold my stomach steady. It helps that the morning air glides cool like a constant washcloth against my face. Deep breaths. I'm the first student in class. My new teacher has brown curls looped tight to her scalp, like circles in a beehive. She points to her chest, Miss Scott, saying it 3 times, each louder with more spit. I repeat, Miss Scott, careful to hiss every S. She doesn't seem impressed. I tap my own chest. Ha. She must have heard ha, as funny in ha. She fakes a laugh. I repeat, ha. And I wish I knew enough in English to tell her to listen for the accent, the one directing the tone downward. My new teacher tilts her head back and fakes an even sadder laugh. September 2nd, morning. And that is the end for our reading today.